So last night, you guys would have seen at some point, I don't know how I'm going to structure these videos at all, but today's Wednesday. Tomorrow I will have been working on the truck for a whole week, not consistently, off and on, but last night I got the transmission totally prepped. Pretty sure the torque converter is seated all the way in where it's supposed to be. I'm going to double check that, but today's Wednesday. So, you know, before I'm totally out of light, before the sun goes down, I'm going to attempt to get the transmission bolted back up to the block in the truck and get it supported. So that way tomorrow, you know, I'm going to try and get the truck back on the ground, totally finished tomorrow. So I'm going to try and knock out as much stuff as I can tonight because, you know, I still have to work during the day. So I don't have a ton of time. Bless you. Goodness gracious, baby girl. That is my master plan. You know, if I don't get something done, something simple like transfer case fluid change, because I drained all the fluid out of the transfer case. If I don't get that fluid changed, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about doing little things like that. I just want everything back assembled in the truck, bolted back up, everything torqued down tight, nothing missing, nothing misplaced, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna get a head start on that right now. So let's see how far we can get. Feels like it's been forever since I've been under this thing. Yep, that's where it goes right there. Cool, let's put the trans in this thing. I believe I have the torque converter seated in the whole way. Let's go ahead and get this thing ready. I'm gonna get a couple tools because once I get this thing up inside the truck, I'm gonna get a couple of bell housing bolts started. So from the bolt to the outside of the case, right at 1 inch. Yeah, that's looking to be just about right. So everything looks good as far as all that stuff is concerned. If this could just stay up out of my way. I want to coat this in some trans fluid. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to coat this in trans fluid, then I'm going to put it in the trans. There we go. Come on now. Boy, the amount of fun I'm about to have. Okay. Whew. Lots of fun. Loads of fun just then. Whew, this is stressful, but it's on the jack, which is decent at least. No way. Oh, that is a sigh of relief, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Not all the way seated, but we are so close. We are so very close. Sorry about the lighting, you guys. I'm doing the best I can here, but as you guys can see, if you guys can see this gap right here between the block and the bell housing, that gap is getting smaller, which usually indicates that the dowel pins are starting to seat, which also indicates that we have made wonderful progress this evening. Even though I've only been working out here for about an hour, this is great. I got the transmission up in the truck in one shot, no issues, and I mean it's actually been really nice. So I'm really happy right now. This is great. That one's fully seated. Like, I mean, I wouldn't go any tighter on that. That one's almost fully seated. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up every single one that I can get my hands on. I'm gonna have to loosen some back up, but for now, tight is good for now. Make sure this other side has collapsed all the way down. Yep. This side got drawn up too. Oh my goodness. That is just such wonderful news. I can't even, actually, I'm only 2 bolts away from having every single bolt in the bell housing. I'm gonna go ahead and throw one more in just for good measure. This was kind of a joke, but I jokingly told my wife, you know, I've got half of mine not to put the last one in. I definitely need to put the last one in. I'm going to, I will, I promise, but oh, leaps and bounds. Like, this is such great progress right now, which is really unfortunate because I'm about to call it quits. After this is tight, I'm done. After this is torqued down, I'm finished for the night. What seemed impossible a week ago is just so simple today. Oh yeah, perfect, done. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hello there. I'm going to let you guys know a little bit of information right now. I made a mistake. Definitely not a professional at installing torque converters. Whenever I installed the torque converter into the transmission, you know, I got it seated fully in the back of the trans, and got the transmission installed last night, as you guys saw. But one important step that I did not do, and frankly, you know, I should have known, but I just didn't, and that is that you need to put a little bit of grease on the pilot of the torque converter, the part that goes and makes contact with the back of the crankshaft. I did not do that. So luckily I figured it out last night, and I just thought to myself, okay, I'll make a plan, I'll figure out what to do. I didn't want to have to drop the trans, so this is what I'm having to do, and I'm trying to save you guys some headaches. So what I've done is that I've taken loose all of the bell housing bolts just to give me about an inch worth of space right here. And luckily my transmission has a inspection plate that can be removed, and so I'm going to put some grease on the end of my flathead screwdriver right here and go around the pilot of the torque converter and just kind of lube it up a little bit. And you need to do that because what can happen is that, you know, you get a few thousand miles on these things, and the torque converter will expand with heat. You know, it's made of metal, so that's, you know, as metal does. And so what can happen is that it can actually friction weld itself to the back of your crank, which won't really cause any problems for the most part as far as drivability is concerned. But if you ever have to go and take this stuff back apart again, you're going to run into some issues. So at least that's one thing that can happen. Other issues can definitely occur, but just letting you guys know now, grease the pilot of the torque converter before you install the trans. All right, I solved that problem. That is definitely plenty of grease. I just used white lithium grease. That is what the majority of the internet says to use, so that's what we used. Now we can continue and feel good about it. You know what, I'll just leave that one undone because I got to put something on that anyway. Now that's all taken care of. I think we can get rid of the jack for a little bit. I hope. Perfect. This needs to come out. This needs to go in. Oh, grease before I forget it. How do you guys feel about getting some torque converter bolts in? That sounds cool, right? That sounds funky fresh. So I just gotta get, I need a light. That's what I need. Do you guys have a light? Smoke some cigs. By the way, just real quick, I've been, you know, I get really bored sometimes of the YouTube that I watch, and I'm gonna shout out somebody real quick just in case there's any other, I wouldn't necessarily say metalheads, but just music enthusiasts out there, because I would die without music in my day-to-day life. But if anyone else has heard of the Do, you guys need to go check him out if you haven't. He is he's a pretty cool dude. I really have enjoyed watching his videos lately, so go check him out if you haven't. Some torque converters have the flywheel on it, like the part that the starter is supposed to catch. Ooh yeah, got it. I got it, yes. All right, I'm gonna have to get these coolant lines out of the way, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and install them. All right, so far we've got the harness hooked back up, the main plug for the transmission here. The rest of these go to the transfer case. We have got this all buttoned backed up, which is super nice. We've got the cooler lines bolted up, and we just have two more bell housing bolts that need to go in. I hooked up the shifter, got a couple things just kind of lined up. I put this bolt back in. Nothing is super tight right now. I'm going to go back and tighten all this stuff by hand once we kind of get everything where it needs to be. I've got the bolt holding the dipstick tube in, and so right now I am working on getting the very last the very last torque converter bolt bolted into the torque converter, and then I'm going to go around and tighten them all three of them down. So this is just kind of the dance I've been doing here, 2 teeth at a time. It goes by quicker than it might look. All right, I've got all 3 torque converter bolts in. They're good to go. I just have to tighten them all up, and that's going to take some doing, but we're going to get it done, no problem. I don't know if I was able to get this one to fit in there last time, but we're going to try it. There we go, maybe. There it is. Wow, it's getting there, ain't it? That's locked in place, that's good. All right, what's next? The cross member goes on last. So what goes on next? I guess we could bolt some of this stuff up. We need to get the, before we cinch all that stuff down, let's get the last bell housing bolts tightened in. That sounds like a good idea. I need a deep 15. Where did my deep 15 go? Is that it? Yep, that's it. Okay. What time are we looking at here? 12:50. All right. Moving right along, chugga-chung, chugga-chung. Cool. One more. Let's get one more extension on this thing. Why not? Let's just go crazy. Actually, I think I had it like this, but without the wobble. I don't think I needed the wobble for this. So I'm going to see if I can get it started. Was this the only one that was like a standard size or something? For some reason, these are 7/16s. I couldn't tell you why. We're getting down to the wire here. Really, the last two big things is the drive shaft and the exhaust here. And the cross member, wherever I put that thing. The exhaust is going to be the last big, difficult thing. After that, I don't think there's going to be really anything else that gives us any trouble. Oh, the cross member's over there. That's right. So I'm not entirely sure where I left off. GoPro died, obviously. I'm on my 5th and final battery. I don't have any more charged up, so I'm going to try and save this one as much as possible. But just to give you guys a little teaser, the truck starts up. Obviously, I got everything hooked back up the way it needs to be. I did the main drive shaft, the forward drive shaft, got the entire exhaust hooked back up. Trust me, you'd know if I didn't. I've got about 7 quarts of fluid in the trans. I refilled the transfer case, the cross member bolted back up. Let's just go over the things that is still left to do. Only things left to do is put the wheel well back in. I'm going to finish tightening up the sway bar end links and also the sway bar bushings. I'm going to grease those and torque those up. I'm letting the transmission fluid heat up. We got to top off the transmission fluid, and then after that put the wheels back on and we can go for a drive. You guys have seen me, you know, take the wheels off and on this thing 1,000 times, so I'm just going to get this work done, get the truck back on the ground, and then we'll go for a drive and make sure I didn't break anything. All right, you guys, you probably can't see me. I've got as much light on in here as possible. But I've got the truck full of transmission fluid, at least I believe I do. I got the fluid up to about 104 degrees Fahrenheit. I've been checking it periodically over the last few minutes, and I think it's good to go. But me and Axel are going to take a ride and see how she does. So cross your fingers. Let's see if this thing will go into gear. It went into gear. We're moving. That means I didn't tear it up too bad. All right, so like I said, we're just gonna go on a quick ride and I'll let you guys know how things are. I may actually wait until like daylight to kind of talk about everything, but the truck did move. Cool.